Well, folks, now we will talk about instantaneous velocity. So far, we have studied average velocity, this is denoted by v dash, and this is nothing but x2 minus x1 upon t2 minus t1. And this can also be written as delta x upon delta t. This is the change in displacement in delta t time, correct? But this is basically average velocity. Suppose if you want to find out the velocity at a particular time, then how to find out? And that velocity basically, that is called instantaneous velocity. Means velocity at an instant of time. Now let us see, this is your x-ray graph, and your velocity is increasing like this. And you want to find out at this instant you want to find out what is the velocity. So what you can do, you can take the readings of x equal distance from this point, like this is t1, t2, this is x2, this is x1, and this is the line joining x1 and x2, and ultimately this will give you the average velocity only, not the instantaneous velocity, but it will be approximation, basically approximation of what velocity you will have at this point. Suppose this delta t, this is nothing but delta t, and this is nothing but delta x. Now suppose if you take this t1 and t2 nearer, more nearer to this t dash, these points will also come nearer to the point at which the instantaneous velocity is to be considered. So your delta t will be minimized, and if you keep on doing like this, then your this instantaneous velocity is defined as limit delta t approaches to 0 delta x upon delta. Means you make this delta t shorter and shorter and shorter like this, and ultimately you will come to this point. And what will happen when delta t approaches to 0, this line x1 x2 line will be nothing but it will be tangent at a point t. Here we can see what is tangent. Tangent is nothing but it is the touching the curve, and suppose this is the center of this curve, then from center if you join this point, then this will be right angle. This is called tangent. This you will study in geometry. So this is how we can approach and find out the instantaneous speed, and this is nothing but in calculus this is defined as dx upon dt, and this is your instantaneous velocity. This is a curve. Suppose x is equal to 0.3 t square. This is a quadratic curve. Then dx upon dt will be nothing but 0.3 into 2t, or this will become 0.6 t, and this dx upon dt is nothing but v. So now with this equation we can calculate the instantaneous velocity at any point or at any time. If it is at 2 seconds, if you are asked to find out at 2 seconds, just put the value of 2 here, you will find the velocity here. So this is how the calculations are made. Now one more thing is there. Suppose you have xt graph and you have a straight line. That means this is uniform velocity, and here at every point the velocity is uniform. That means here at any point your average velocity will be equal to instantaneous velocity. That means v dash will be equal to v. So this is in case of when the xt graph is your straight line, slope is same everywhere. But in this case it was a non-uniform velocity, means it was a increasing velocity. So this is the difference. Here your straight line, suppose equation of this will be nothing but, suppose slope of this is m, then it will be mt, and if you take here dx upon dt, then it will be m only, and which is a constant. That means here instantaneous velocity will be same everywhere and will be equal to average velocity. correct? Now here, what is instantaneous speed? We know instantaneous velocity is dx upon dt, and instantaneous velocity, this is a vector quantity that means it has both magnitude and as well as direction. But suppose if you are asked to find out what is instantaneous speed, so it is the same thing as, the only thing is, suppose instantaneous velocity is plus 2 meter per second at particular time, or minus 2 meter per second at any particular time, and at that particular time, suppose if speed is asked, instantaneous speed, it will, in both the cases, it will be 2 meter per second, means we will not denote any direction because it is a scalar quantity. Okay. Now here, that means instantaneous velocity will be equal to instantaneous speed in magnitude. Whereas what we have seen, average velocity will always be or equal to less than the average speed. This is average velocity. So these things you plus please keep in mind. It's a very important thing. These are the small concepts you must learn. Now we will talk about acceleration. We have seen our average velocity was, it is basically change in displacement or change in position divided by change in time. Now this velocity also changes. Suppose this is your v t graph. Velocity can be, it can be a straight line, it can be curved also, like that. Now, as you have seen, when you accelerate a car, your time changes, means your velocity changes with respect to time as well as with respect to position also. Now, it was very difficult to define whether acceleration should be defined the change in velocity with respect to time or with respect to position or distance or displacement. So what happened, Galileo basically he observed this thing as the velocity is changing with respect to time as well as With respect to position also, what he observed basically, in a free fall case, suppose if you just drop a particle from a height and it comes to the ground. In the free fall case, he observed that velocity, the change in velocity with respect to time remains constant. This remains constant, whereas with respect to position, it is changing as we change the distance of free fall. So ultimately, this standard was adopted that acceleration will be defined. Acceleration will be defined change in velocity with respect to time. This we can write it as v2 minus v1 divided by t2 minus t1. Basically, this is a average acceleration. In case the constant acceleration is there, means vt graph is having a straight line, then of course your average acceleration is equal to instantaneous acceleration. But in case of curved, again the instantaneous acceleration is defined as we have defined the instantaneous velocity, like limit delta t approaches to 0, delta v upon delta t. It is again a tangent at the point where you want to find out the acceleration. Tangent, and this is nothing but basically the slope of this tangent, like in case of instantaneous velocity, this will give you the instantaneous acceleration at that point. You have to just draw the tangent at that point on the curve, and so this can be written as dv upon dt. So this is the acceleration, how it was defined. It is basically the change in velocity divided by change in time. Now, suppose we have a VT graph like this. So here, what this graph shows, the velocity is increasing within this time 0 to t1. It is a curve, and then from t1 to t2 the velocity is constant, and then velocity is decreasing between t2 to T3, and it is having the constant slope, straight line. So how to draw the acceleration time graph for this same thing? Here you see velocity is increasing means acceleration is positive here, because unless acceleration is there, you will not have your velocity increasing. So this is how acceleration is increasing in between this period. Now since here velocity is constant means acceleration is 0, because acceleration is nothing but v2 minus v1 upon t2 minus. Here, if this is constant means this factor will be 0. That means this will be just a straight line here, because acceleration is 0 between t2 and t1. Then now here, since it is a straight line, means uniformly velocity is decreasing. That means acceleration is constant. So during this period, acceleration will be constant, and it will be negative like this. This will be a rectangular like this, because here velocity is here 0, here some velocity is there. So 0 minus this will give you negative acceleration. So this is the negative constant acceleration you are having. So this is how you can convert VT graph into AT graph. As far as XT graph is concerned, suppose it is increasing, that means acceleration is positive here. Suppose it is decreasing, acceleration is negative here. And suppose it is a straight line, that means velocity is uniform, that means acceleration is 0. This is how you can define. Now we will see what this VT graph shows. In the first case, the body is moving with initial velocity and it is having a uniform velocity. Sorry, the velocity is basically increasing as the time is increasing. So in this case, body is moving in the forward positive direction with acceleration positive acceleration. Here, slope of this VT graph is negative. That means it is acceleration is negative. Body is moving in the forward direction. Here, in this case, body is moving in the negative direction and slope is also in negative. So, negative acceleration is there. Acceleration is negative. In this case, what is happening? body is having initial velocity v0, then after time t1, at time t1 the velocity becomes 0. Hmm? Then it again moves further. So in this portion 0 to t1, it is moving in the forward direction, but since the slope is negative, the acceleration is negative. But here you see now it is moving in the opposite direction. Negative means here the body is turning, like it is going like this. It is stopped here. Velocity is here 0. This at t1 velocity is 0. It is stopped here. Then again it returned back. Hmm? So acceleration is again negative, but it is now moving in the negative direction in this portion, means T1 to T2 portion. Correct? So this is how you can analyze how the graphs are there and what they are denoting basically. This positive and negative acceleration you can easily find out from this formula v2 minus v1 upon t2 minus t1. In the first case, like it is v0 and then v2 is increasing, that means this will be a positive. But in the second case, v0 is more and v2 means v1 is more and v2 is less. That means it will give you the negative acceleration only. This is how you can find out. Now, what is the SI unit of acceleration? SI unit of acceleration is nothing but velocity. Velocity in the numerator it is velocity. Its units meter per second divided by second will give you meter per second square. So this is the SI unit of acceleration. It is basically a vector quantity like velocity, because it is defined by direction and magnitude also. So please remember all these things. So this was something which was giving the idea about acceleration. And now in the next chapter we will study about the formula, how to drive the formula for motions. So this is all about for this video. Thank you very much.